Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and today's video is something that is like super important for me on my weight loss journey. This has made such a difference. I'm going to talk about my favorite condiments and sauces that I have incorporated in my weight loss journey. This is just so important because before I started my journey, I did not realize how many calories and how much sugar and just extra garbage I was consuming with the sauces I was eating. And I love sauce. I love to put sauce on everything. So this was just like a huge eye opener. And these are just some things that along our journey, we've tested out a ton of different sauces, a ton of different like sugar-free, not big fans of those. If you enjoyed this video, find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And let's just go ahead and get started with some of these sauces. So, and as I'm going along, I kind of want to talk about what these sauces have replaced, like for smart points. So as I'm going along, I'm going to give you guys the points on the WW Blue Plan. Typically a serving size for sauce when I'm using it is like 1 to 2 tablespoons, and that's what the serving size is on these sauces. So usually I don't go much higher than that. Yeah, unless I'm using it for like multiple things. Sometimes if we have like turkey burgers and we have potatoes and Brussels sprouts, I'll use extra ranch dip both of those. But other than that, yeah, I don't really go too overboard. And that's another thing is I've really watched my portion sizes with sauces. You can do that either by measuring them out. I buy these little sauce cups that are 1.5, or no, the ones I get are 2.5 tablespoons. So I just fill them halfway usually, but it's really been helpful to buy little sauce dishes to actually portion out the dipping sauces I use. Anyway, let's get into the sauces. The first sauce that I probably used, the first sauce that I definitely used the most before I started my weight loss journey was ranch. And I love ranch. I'm not picky about the type of ranch. I have preferences. I do love the runny ranch from restaurants. That's probably the best ranch, but I love ranch and I love it on everything. So that was something that I had to realize, like when I started actually tracking my food with WW, like, wow, that is actually a lot of points that I'm eating that I didn't realize. So typically a serving of ranch for 2 tablespoons is anywhere from like 4 to 6 smart points, which it doesn't sound that crazy, but really that is a lot when you're thinking about like what you can first of all get for 4 to 6 smart points versus and how much it's actually even doing for you. Like there's really no nutritional, it's not filling you up, it's not full of protein or anything. So that's why I have to be careful with what sauces I use and how much I use, because really it's just kind of like a waste of your points and you're just getting extra sugar that you don't need. I've been really mindful about my sauces. So my replacement for ranch, instead of using a 4 to 6 smart point serving of regular ranch dressing, I love Bolthouse dressings and I talk about them all the time, but they have so many different flavors that I love all of them and I use them for so many different things. And so I have a few of them here that we have right now. We don't have all of them. But my all-time favorite Bolthouse that I use to dip chicken in, I use it on my flatbreads, I use it on sandwiches, wraps, everything. And that is the honey barbecue ranch dressing. And this is 2 smart points for 2 tablespoons, and I usually just use 2 tablespoons. Then we also really like the chunky blue cheese, and this is one of Adam's favorites because he's always eating buffalo food. Anything chicken, buffalo chicken he's eating, so this is really good to have on that, especially like his flatbreads. And this one's actually only 1 smart point for 2 tablespoons. They're all yogurt-based dressings, so you find them in the cold section, like by like the actual salad in the grocery store. It's not like on the shelves with the dry goods, so look out for those. But then I like to get just the classic ranch, and I like to get the squeeze tube like this. I don't always find it everywhere, but when I do find it, I prefer to get this because I go through this one the most. And this one is 2 smart points for 2 tablespoons. And then another one of my favorites is the honey mustard. And this one is also 2 smart points for 2 tablespoons. This one is so good on chicken. It's really good on like a chicken snack wrap that I like to make. So I like to use like the tomorrow wraps that are like close to a flour tortilla, some breaded chicken, lettuce, shredded cheese, and a little bit of honey mustard. And that is one of my favorite quick wraps. Then Bolthouse also has some other good dressings. They also have, Adam really likes it's like avocado green goddess or something. That one's really flavorful. I also really like to use the balsamic, and the Caesar is perfect. I really like the Caesar. So tons of good options there. They are pretty easily available. I usually find them at Walmart and Target, but just such a mindful replacement for the ranch dressing I was using before and other dressings. And like I said, I don't eat a lot of salad. I don't use these dressings for salad. I'm more so using them for wraps wraps, sandwiches, flatbreads, dipping sauces, stuff like that. So I was nervous to find a replacement for ranch, and that has actually done it for me. Then the next sauce that I think I probably used the most before I started my WW journey was mayonnaise. And I just used regular mayo, like Kraft brand. Mainly I would use it on sandwiches, like if we were having like a lunch meat sandwich or like a chicken patty or something. I wanted it to taste like a McChicken with the mayo on it. And typically a serving of mayo is 3 smart points for 1 tablespoon or 6 smart points for 2 tablespoons. So it's a pretty high point. Everybody knows mayonnaise isn't good for you. So obviously I knew I wasn't eating something great when I was having regular mayo. But anyway, now I like to pick up the light mayo, and I just get the Kraft brand, and this one is only 1 point for 1 tablespoon or 2 points for 2 tablespoons. And this is something that I use it a lot. I use it whenever I have like a lunch meat sandwich, or like I said, if I wanted to have it like on a chicken sandwich or sometimes even a burger. But I also have started using this instead of regular mayo for like tuna and chicken salad. And I find that I can use like half of this along with half of a serving of like Greek yogurt. So this with that actually works out really well, and this is enough to like satisfy that mayo taste but not have that 6 smart point serving. So I really like getting the light mayo. Another sauce that we always have on hand is this organic tomato sauce, and I just get this from Trader Joe's, and this is just so perfect for like pizza flatbreads or like dipping anything pizza, anything for pasta. When I want to make a red pasta sauce, I just take one of these cans and I throw in tons of different seasonings. So I throw in some oregano, garlic, sometimes like red pepper flakes, Parmesan cheese, salt, pepper, anything to make a good sauce out of this. And you can always mix it up, but this way you're not having like a super sugary. A lot of times you buy those like jars of sauce and they are loaded with sugar and you just don't realize they're super processed, loaded with sugar. And this is just a quick, easy, and 0 smart point option for a tomato sauce. And it doesn't have to be the Trader Joe's brand. They do have other organic tomato sauces at just like Walmart or Target, but this is the one I prefer, and we've always just used it. I just pick up a can every time I go. Then Adam's favorite sauce, and this hasn't changed from before he started WW and after. He still has just used his buffalo sauce, which really it's not that bad. It's actually 0 smart points for 1 tablespoon and 1 smart point for 2 tablespoons. So he puts this on everything. It helps him get some flavor in, get some spice in, so he drinks some water. It's just a flavorful option. I'm not always using buffalo sauce. I do use it sometimes for like a flatbread if I want, or if I want some chicken and buffalo, but this is more his go-to sauce. I try to be careful with soy sauce because I do notice how much it dehydrates me, and like after I eat it the next morning, I wake up and I'm just so thirsty all morning. And so I try to really go light with soy sauce, but when I do get it, I get the low sodium because I do like to put it on my rice and my stir fry. It's 0 smart points for the serving, but I do actually notice a difference when we have the red one is like the regular one and then the green is the low sodium, and I do notice a slight difference. So this is just a staple. Just be careful with how much you use because of the high sodium content. Then when I make stir fry, I like to use 2 different sauces, and I pretty much use these 2 every time I make them, and neither of these are like point friendly sauces, but because I'm using them to cook with and I'm not like putting them directly on our food, we're not using like a 2 tablespoon serving. We're really probably using like a teaspoon by the time it's spread out onto everything because I make such big batches. So anyway, I always cook the chicken that I make. I just cut up some chicken breast, cook it on the stove, and then I add the sauce after it's pretty much cooked. And I always add Asian zing. This is 5 smart points for 2 tablespoons, and I probably use 2 tablespoons in the serving, but that's 2 pounds of chicken that's getting 2 tablespoons. It's spread out, and then I divide it into like 4 to 6 meals. So a lot of times we track like a point of this, and that's about it. And it is super flavorful. It's got a really good kick to it, and it's just become my staple for stir fry chicken. Then for stir fry vegetables, I like to do the same thing with this Mandarin teriyaki sauce from Panda Express. And both of these I usually just find at like Walmart. But this one is 4 smart points for 2 tablespoons. But again, I'm putting 2 tablespoons, and then I usually use a little bit of soy sauce. So when I make the vegetables, I usually put 2 tablespoons of this, a little bit of soy sauce, mix it all together just so it's got like a coating of flavor. And then we can add a little bit more soy sauce to our rice and veggies if we really want to, but usually it's enough. So again, that's a good way to get a flavorful sauce, but you're not getting too much. And we've just been a lot more mindful about the serving sizes with it. You can still have like higher point sauces like this, just be mindful about them. But those are 2 staples that I always have. Every time I make stir fry, I use both of those. We love them. Then another sauce that Adam really likes is he loves all types of mustard, and mustard is a really good way to get a low point sauce on sandwiches, or I mean, mainly I guess he uses them for sandwiches and wraps, but this is his favorite mustard he wanted me to show, and this is spicy. So like I said, he likes spicy food, but this mustard is 1 smart point for 1 tablespoon. Most mustards are usually 0 smart points for the serving size. I don't think he'd actually even use a full tablespoon because it's pretty spicy. But yeah, mustard is something that I like to use, like if I can find like a good like spicy brown mustard. And like I said, I use probably like a teaspoon worth because I just like it for the flavor, but I don't want too much. But mustard is something that's really good to get like a low point, super flavorful sauce on like sandwiches and wraps. So this one's one of his favorites. Then our little sauce bag. Usually we buy the container that you can get from the store, but we finished it. So I've just been saving our Taco Bell packets, and I just use that when we have tacos. Sometimes I put them on my rice bowls, and it's 0 smart points for the little packets of them. Again, just like a flavorful sauce that it's become one of my staples on my journey. And again, it's got sodium. It's a little bit higher in sodium, so I do try to limit myself. I don't like douse my food in it, but just using a little bit of sauce to give flavor to different foods, it helps you change up how the foods taste, mix things up a little bit. And yeah, it's good to have low point options because like I said, there's something about just having, I just feel like I always need a sauce on every food that I have, and which I don't, but it's fun for me and I like to eat sauce. So anyway, these are just some of my low point sauces that have really helped me. Anyway, though, another sauce that I use all the time, and this is probably my favorite on eggs. This is the one we get from Trader Joe's, and I actually prefer this one because it's not as spicy as the regular brand of sriracha, but I love sriracha because I love to cook with it. I love to put it on pretty much anything. It pretty much will go with anything and just give it that extra spice. And there are some times where I'm like, I need to drink water. I'm just going to force myself to eat something spicy. I do enjoy spicy food, but I know that if I add more spice like sriracha to my food, it's going to get me to drink more water. And so that's just something I like to do. It sounds ridiculous, but truly it has helped me on my journey. And yeah, I don't know, different hot sauces really help. So you'd have to have 2 tablespoons of this to have a smart point. Usually I just use a little bit because I'm a wimp, but sriracha is something really good, and just hot sauces in general are something really good to incorporate to add a lot of flavor, add a kick, and to get you to drink your water. And then I kind of forgot that I was talking about other sauces that I used to eat before my journey, but one of my favorites to dip chicken in before was Parmesan Garlic, and that is from Buffalo Wild Wings. That is 5 smart points for 2 tablespoons, which isn't terrible, but also I was using more than a 2 tablespoon serving size, so it was more than 5 smart points that I was eating, and I was just not mindful about it. So that one I've actually had since we started our journey, and I realized it kind of just doesn't even make me feel good. It's just like a little bit too much, so I've kind of stayed away from that, and that's where like a Bolthouse dressing will come in, that I can dip my chicken in that instead. Then another sauce would be Yum Yum sauce, and that stuff is good, but that is another thing that I would just douse on my rice. I would douse teriyaki sauce and Yum Yum and mix it together, and it was like my favorite combination. And it is 6 smart points for 2 tablespoons of Yum Yum sauce, which is just crazy because it's easy to put 2 tablespoons on and not even realize it. And so I was just eating a lot of extra points with that because I love that sauce. And I know there's a sugar-free version, but I'm a little nervous to try that because some of those make me just like, I've tried a few different sugar-free barbecue sauces that don't sit well with me, and I'm kind of nervous to try that. So I'm just holding off now. I have enough sauces that kind of fill that void of the Yum Yum sauce. But another sauce too is like Chick-fil-A sauce, which is 6 smart points for just like the one little container. And we used to even save those up, and I would just use them on like chicken sandwiches and stuff, but like with other sauces too. It wasn't always just one sauce that I was using. So if I was using Chick-fil-A sauce, I was also sometimes like adding like barbecue sauce or mayonnaise or something like that, and it really just got over the top. So I kind of stay away from the Chick-fil-A sauce. To me, it's again not worth it for how I feel after I eat it and for the amount of points. I have other replacements that I really just like better. Then the barbecue I used to love the honey barbecue from Buffalo Wild Wings, and that is 8 smart points for 2 tablespoons, which is just crazy to me, especially because I didn't even like it like that much to be eating as much as I was. So I found this, and actually right now I have the hickory, but I also like the original. They're both really good. This is one no sugar added that I actually can eat. It doesn't like make me feel weird or upset my stomach or anything, and it is really good. So this is 0 smart points for 2 tablespoons, which is crazy good. So compared to the 8 smart points I was eating before, this is 0 smart points, and it just fills that craving for barbecue sauce, and it's a good low point option. So those are just a handful. I mean, those are my main go-to sauces. There are definitely other sauces that we eat and we use, but these are the ones that pretty much when we're going to the store, if I don't have them, I'm restocking them, and we are using a different sauce out of this selection every single day. Adam uses his buffalo sauces every day. I use some type of Bolthouse every day. Like, we're using these sauces daily, and they are just so perfect to fill that void of those high point sauces that were just filled with sugar and sodium before. So again, I'm not saying these sauces are great. I'm not saying that you need to have a ton of them. Be mindful. Remember that it's about balance, but also remember that you can still enjoy these sauces without going over your smart points. And before I was almost eating my points in a day in just sauces. And so to actually be aware of that and kind of get an idea of how much those were before and what I'm eating now has helped me a ton. I think getting rid of those extra points has really helped me reach my weight loss goals. So hope you guys found some helpful information in this. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next time.